If you like to listen to testimonials about spiritual awakening, expansion of consciousness, ayahuasca, and Kundalini awakening, stay here because today I'm gonna share my journey with the plant medicine and with the sadhana, with Kundalini yoga, and how it really changed my mind. If you watched my first video, I would just say that this is a continuation of a first video that I'm explaining how I got to this point to go for a support of Mama Yaya and to go very into the spiritual practice with Kundalini yoga. And if you haven't watched it yet, please, the video will be here around and please watch it. I think it would be important context for you to understand about my path. And yeah, let's get started. I'm so excited. It has been many years that I want to share this to the world and with community. I would say that it came in a perfect timing. It was in 2022 with the whole pandemic and the chaos in the world. I really needed this shaking situation in my life. You know, like I felt I was so depressed. I was struggling a lot with mental health. I thought that would be the end of the world. Like I was very heavy on my mind. So I was living in Portugal, in Lisbon. And just before the airport closed in April, when the pandemic hit, I went to Brazil to ask for support for my family. So I'm very blessed that I had uncle who is a Ayahuasca ceremonialist. In that moment, they were not performing rituals in the community gatherings, so he made exclusive to me. But in order to get to that in ceremony, I went through many purification process. So I would highly encourage you, beloved, if you feel like called to consecrate any plant medicine, to have deep respect to this plant and to really find a safe place. But it's really, really important that you make a purification process beforehand. And people would say at least 1 week. I spent 1 month on this purification process, and it always started with Kundalini yoga. So I had this ex-boyfriend who in the last years started to practice a lot of Kundalini yoga, got many trainings. And actually was a cousin of mine that she said, you should look for Marlon, that he could help you, because I was really, really depressed. I was having suicidal thoughts. I was really thinking about quitting my life in that moment, and I really needed some help. And yeah, my cousin, who is actually a psychotherapist, she asked me if I didn't want to go to see Marlon in that time. I didn't know what Kundalini yoga was. I have been practicing yoga since I was a teenager for many years. But the Kundalini people with all the white turbans, how I say in English, the Sikh tradition, I wasn't familiar. I felt like, oh, what is this guru situation? I was very curious. And then because I trusted so much, like this ex-boyfriend was the first love of my life, I really trust him. And as well for my Brazilian fellows community, he has a beautiful yoga project here on YouTube with many classes for free and many community service. The link of his channel will be here in the description. Check it out. It's a very valuable work that he does. And yeah, I asked him, like, please, can you help me? What is this about Kundalini yoga? How can we do this purification process, or like how you can support me on this journey? So we did during 1 month weekly meetings, and he based it on the tantric numerology. He gave a reading. about my soul. Like this numerology tells a lot about your life and your strugglings. Like it can be very a beautiful tool for you to understand yourself and why you have some tendency to some limiting beliefs, or why you're having some patterns of problems, limitations in general. But also it highlights your qualities and your talents and your skills. And I truly believe, like, in a society that we are most of the time looking to our flaws, we also need to look to have gratitude and not taking for granted the beautiful gifts that we have, and also know how to work with them in order to help the community and the people around us. So yeah, I was like diving to understand my soul while doing a sadhana of 2 hours every day. So I would do 1 hour and a half, more or less, of asanas with breath work. He made a specific sequence for me, and I would chant for half an hour Ekanka Satguru Prasad. That is a mantra that was also specifically for me in Kundalini yoga tradition. Like, each person have their own necessities, like different needs. So you shouldn't be performing like the same exercise, like asanas and mantras, as everybody. You need to like find kind of yours practice and then stick with that to get like a perfection on that. But like, for you to really like go deeper in your practice, and then of course you can use different sequence times to time with whatever chakra you are working or necessity that you have at the moment. But usually each practitioner, you have like your own practice that your guru would develop for you and for you only. So it's very special and very particular. He challenged me to do 40-day sadhana. That was the kind of amount of times for you to really have the Kundalini awakening. Let's say in the Western, we believe about like the 21 days. Challenges are the minimum of days for you to build a new routine or a new habit in your life, because if you can't do just 1 week, it's not going to shape your brain to that thing to become an habit in your life. So you could do like 21 days, but he challenged me like, like 40 days, very important. And I was like, okay, I have never done like such a huge challenge. Like it's too many days. Like, but I would try, and with a kind of pride, I would say to you, my friend, that I done 100 days sadhana, like almost 2 hours practice every day when I started this Kundalini process. And sadhana really, wow, it was really life-changing. I would say, like, when I start practicing, because of the breathing, and the postures, I would have this hyperventilation, and I would feel all these tingling sensations on my fingers, in the tip of the fingers. Sometimes I would feel like stiffness in my body, but I knew that it was bringing prana, bringing source energy to unblock my sankharas, to unblock whatever was an stagnant in a blockage or in my body. We have the meridians also in the Chinese medicine and in acupuncture. They believe about these like many points of your body. Then through you can put like the needles there to block them, but like to our yogi traditions, through the breath and the breath only, you can unblock in the same way. So it was a very beautiful and very profound practice that I started. And I became to be vegetarian. And I would feel all these tingling sensations on my fingers, in the tip of the fingers. Sometimes I would feel like stiffness in my body, but I knew that it was bringing prana, bringing source energy to unblock my sankharas, to unblock whatever was an stagnant in my body. I was not eating meat, and I was in a celibacy. So also pandemic, like I was not dating, I was not seeing anyone, I was not masturbating. Like you go through a very deep purification process. You have like no sex thoughts or nothing that is gonna disturb or distract your energy. Being in pandemic, so I was not working and it was everything shut down. I was just with my family, so it was a very beautiful moment of a retreat, let's say, and that I had this time to connect with myself and to work on my remembrance. Along to that, I was doing hypnotherapy. The same uncle who is a ceremonialist, he's a therapist in many fields, and he started a process with hypnotherapy on me, where I was going to see my childhood and my mom issues, like going through all my traumas, or seeing moments of my childhoods that I had repressed. Through hypnotherapy, I could really tap to memories that I didn't remember that they were there, and how I could bring new narratives to that circumstance, but they were very painful to me, and then, but I was still feeling, it was a lot of work going through, and my flight ticket was ending, like the time of my trip in Brazil was ending, and then all the airports were open again, like a normal-ish life was open, it was all with the mask situation, but like to the whole like world governments start open the works again and everything. And so my trip was ending. My uncle, he suggested me like, so Vani, do you want to do the emergency ceremony with Mama Aya? Are you feeling ready for that? And I was like, yeah, feels that is a right moment for that. I feels I am in a grounded place, and I am I am pure, and I was already tapping into so many subtle energies and having many insights and guidance from my spiritual guide. So felt that I was prepared for that. I would like to say as well that I had ayahuasca 6 years before these episodes in 2020, or 4 years, I don't remember very well, where I did only 3 days not eating meat, not drinking alcohol, and I went there to the ceremony with my mom, with my 2 aunties, and the same uncle. In that moment, he wasn't. He was just studying and being a helper in this other ayahuasca center in Brazil. So I was there with my family, feeling safe and feeling I was already doing my prayers. I thought it was a right moment for me, but I did not feel anything. Absolutely nothing. I had 2 cups of ayahuasca in my first ceremony, and it was like I had just drunk any other type of tea. Many people, including my family, were having the visions, were having the purging, were having beautiful insights, but myself, I was just closed. I was praying the whole ceremony, I was singing, I was sending love to the universe, sending love to my family, sending love to the nature, but I did not feel anything. So it also can happen with you, is why I truly believe, and I really recommend for the listeners here to have this preparation before, and to really purify yourself for few weeks in advance, I would say, because your vessel needs to be clear and pure to receive, and you need to be in the moment. You shouldn't try to control the experience. You really need to be with an open heart, with a with no expectations as well, because also if you feel like you have so much expectations of what's gonna happen, and then you're just like building already narratives in your mind, like I feel that you in this way you'll be blocking the medicine to work on you. Just let Mother Gaia and Mama Aya to guide you through this journey, and then it was so beautiful. I did that on the house of my uncle just a few days before I come back to Portugal. And the magical thing, and it's why I believe so much that music is medicine, and it's my mission here to bring you music and to be the shaman of the music and to create music and to encourage everyone to sing and to dance and to connect with music in a healing way, in a conscious way, is that through all tribes in the whole world, like music, the drums, the singing and the chants would be guiding all ceremonies, because it's the moment that we are surrendering to the flow, like we are not in our thoughts, and we are in this trance, right? Through the repetition, through the movements, and in all ayahuasca ceremonies, the music is your guide. So the shamans and the spirits that are working through the group, they are like guiding the way. It's very often you know when is the moment of a contemplation music, and then the purging moment. Usually the songs are already encouraging you to do so. Of course, not saying this on the music, but you can sense by the music when is the moment that you need to release, when is the moment of to cry, when is the moment to release the anger, but then also when is the moment of feeling grateful and feeling this peace and this joy and gratitude, deep gratitude for Father, Mother, God, big gratitude for being alive, big gratitude for being in your human vessel here now, and big gratitude to be able to breathe and to have family and friends and to have a shelter, Also, has a moment of we explore our inner child. I always have like a moment that we feel a bit more childlike. And on this ceremony I went to all type of different feelings and sensations, and it was so beautiful. I cry, I dance, and I felt pity of myself, and then I felt proud of myself, and then I purge, and in a moment and that I was singing a different language that I don't know. I was singing an entire song for a few minutes. My uncle said that it was like more than 10 minutes, like the same kind of ancient language that he couldn't even find the music later was really like God who put it. That chant in the moment was also a bit Sanskrit, and I felt in that moment that it was really like my call also to be a singer, because I play and I compose since 11 years old, and I always had music around me, but because I was so insecure and so shy, I couldn't really express myself. I couldn't really express my voice. And through this last year, since 2020, I have been working with vocal coaches. I have been doing like deep therapy, in like spiritual holistic therapies, and also the traditional therapy, to really be able to assess the potency of my throat chakra, and to be able to be here today, bringing this wisdom, sharing my experience for you guys. So I would just say for you to have patience with yourself. Sometimes we compare ourselves with other people, like they are good speakers or good singers, and you feel like, oh, I'll never be like them or something like that. I was there, you know. I was super insecure. I couldn't talk really in public. I would be super shaky. I remember first times I would be like in open mics or like poetry events to talk to say my poetries. Like it was very, very, very scary for me, you know. And but then, yeah, I invested on this. I invested on myself, and then I could, yeah, be the speaker that I am today. I'm speaking so fast, but I'm so excited to be here today. And yeah, I love the birds. I don't know if you can hear. I have many birds around me now. And wow. Okay, so yeah, I went through the Kundalini practice with my sadhana, and then I had these revelations, big revelations with Mama Yaya, and then I couldn't really be the same person, you know. When I come back to Portugal, so I was vegetarian. I was not using any drugs. I would say that I used to be a stoner. I used to smoke weed nearly every day in the morning, wake and bake, and it was it was not good for me. It was not healthy. I used to use the weed as a tool to numb myself, and then I wouldn't have this way to see as a sacred plant or something. It was really like a recreational way. Yeah, you know, I just want to go out of my mind, you know. When I want to smoke, I never liked alcohol that much, so I would rather like just smoke a spliff and get creative. But I was not balanced on the way that I was using. So through ayahuasca, I could heal from that. I spent nearly a year not smoking at all. After that, I was not drinking alcohol at all. After that, so vegetarian. I kept my celibacy for 1 year. So also casual sex was not attractive to me anymore. I was also not feeling that need to connect to any man, like in the way of having validation, you know. I just felt, because I had so much faith in my heart to God, and some people would see me very religious in that moment, but I was not religious. I was just very spiritual. And even nowadays, sometimes people, when they see me talk about God, some people feel like ugh to me, but I don't mind, you know. Because we are always attracting our tribe. And so I lost many friends, people that I thought that they were in my life because they like me. They like it, not who I really was, but because I was just how can I say that, I don't know, like a comfortable person to have around, you know, like to smoke joints, to drink beers at the end of the day, to do some laps, or to have that casual sex. And after this awakening, I just I don't want to hang out with these people anymore, you know. I want to have a healthy life. I have a mission. I have this mission of pursuing music, of healing my soul, of studying the ancient sacred texts, of diving deeper in philosophy. You know, I was always my whole life, I always studied this. As if you watch the first video, but after the ayahuasca was really a beautiful moment, that was a huge push. You know, I did a Reiki training, and then I started to practice Reiki on myself. I went to Ayurveda doctors. I was studying these Pitta Pata Kappa things, and just later on, I I met a twin flame, an ex-boyfriend who was in this path of truth as well, doing yoga and living off the grid, and we were having this more sustainable way of living with permaculture and really giving back to the earth what belongs to Mother Earth. Anyway, so I have a third part for this story that would be related with this end that I just shared with you guys. So the first video is saying like me as a teenager, first and young adult, trying to understand spirituality in general, and it has this second moment of like crazy understanding of what is reality through ayahuasca and Kundalini yoga. And then I would like to make a third part where it was like after all this awakening, how my life changed, what it was the courses that I got, and what was the actions that I took that Mama Gaia awakened on me. It was not just about an awakening and living the life, was a whole change of life and a changing of a lifestyle. So yeah, let me know if you wanna know more about this, how is to live off the grid, how is to live in a sustainable way, and yeah, how is this second part of the or like the after part of the Kundalini awakening, of the spiritual awakening. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm just watching the time, 27:33. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Take it easy with yourself these days. Give you so much love. Take care of you. And keep spreading love, keep spreading the smiles. Let me know if what I'm saying resonated with you. Let me know if you had any experience with Kundalini Yoga, with Mama Yaya. I can be very supportive to this community, reading the comments. I read all of them in the last video, but I felt a bit overwhelmed. I didn't know what to say. I was just reading and like, oh my God, this is so cool. But it would take a lot of time for me to reply. And then I was like, oh, I got a bit freeze. But I did read all of them, and I felt very happy that you felt safe to share with our family here. And I'm so grateful for this channel growing, because we really need to bring this light to the world, and to be vulnerable, and to be honest, and to be pure-hearted and light-hearted. Man, I love you so much, so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to support the channel, please like, comment, save this post, and just be here and keep spreading love, keep spreading smiles. I see you in the next one. All my love to you.